Welcome to Frank's Out, guys. This is your host, Frank the Vamp, and we're continuing talking about the best horror movies of 1980. We just got done. I'm sorry, talking about um, the Inferno for number nine. So now we're gonna talk about number eight. And Sorry to do this to you, but sometimes I just can't decide. I did another tie. So we'll be talking about two movies today. Two movies. And the first one that it came to mind is a movie deep in my childhood that nearly scarred me. Though both of the movies I'm gonna talk about, they're sci-fi horror. And in 1980 something happened. Something very scary happened. And the movie is called Saturn 3. And Saturn 3, it's a movie made in 1980 with Kirk Douglas, Farrah Fawcett, and Harvey Keitel. And movie's about, once the Earth becomes overcrowded, we decide to, do some experiments of population and stuff in the third moon of Saturn. And therefore in the space station we have a May December couple portrayed by the older Kirk Douglas, with the very hot Farrah Fawcett, which they're getting paid, they're doing scientific experiments, and they're experimenting other feelings. Everything's peachy till the government decides that they need to have a robot replacing one of them eventually. So they send Harvey Keitel to install and program the robot to work with them until they decide which one to replace. Only bad thing is that Harvey Keitel is doing experiments by inserting his own brain cells into the organism, into the robot, and so that it develops an artificial intelligence. So that the robot picks up the traits of Keitel. Problem is that Keitel is a creep. Basically he's obsessed with Farrah Fawcett, and he's just downright wacko. And this film, it's, despite its cheesiness sometimes, it's the robot, Hector the robot, that thing, it's disturbing, guys. Oh my gosh, I can't. You guys, if you guys haven't seen it, you gotta see. That thing scared me sideways. Picture me as a young kid flipping on the channels. One day I couldn't sleep. I think my parents were already asleep. Nobody was noticing anything. So I bumped into this sci-fi movie which looked kind of cool. I'm eyeballing Farrah Fawcett. Everything's cool. And then that thing, man, that thing has caused so many nightmares. Only the robot from Black Hole and the original Terminator, those gotta be the frighteningest robots. But this one, this fucker, it's scary. And I can say that this movie scared the shit out of me. I kid you not. If you're a kid, imagine, it's about 11 o'clock. I watched it all the way through. It ended like at 1 or something. And I couldn't sleep. That thing, it's murderous, it's messed up. There's a scene where the robot grabs Farrah Fawcett by the hands and lifts her up, and she's screaming. And there's another one when she's being held and that thing is trying to insert something inside her eye. And oh my god, as you can see, I'm very sensitive about my eyes as well. I'm always wearing these things. So to me, that's 11 in the creepy scale. So if you haven't seen Saturn 3, you're missing out on a very scary sci-fi movie. Extremely creepy, great acting all around. It's despite, it does have its flaws, but this movie well deserved the number 8 spot for the 1980s best sci-fi horror movie. Because we're talking about sci-fi, I say I can't include this movie without including another movie that will freak your freaking mind off. And I'm talking about Alter States. Ken Russell's Alter State. That's the other one. Oh my gosh. How can I explain this? William Hurt, an awesome actor. And this guy, he's experimenting with states of being that happen in your subconscious that somehow can alter the reality, your normal reality. But by doing this, he's taking hallucinogenic drugs while putting himself into sensory deprivation states, low oxygen, completely block all sensory, so that you can travel. This movie, part body horror, when it actually starts changing William Hurt's being, part drug freak out, Ken Russell's religion, sexual imagery, it's all over it. How can I describe this film? It's to be seen. There are some imagery that is just way disturbing, and there are some that is just way beautiful. The cave scene where the woman becomes the lizard, becomes the woman, becomes the sand, it's one of the I think I always mention Grumpy Andrews because he's a genius. Do subscribe to him. I got it. Shout out again to him because he's got to review Alter States. Like I don't know if I am the right person to talk about it, but what I got out of it is that it freaks me out. Like it's something. It's not particularly my favorite subject or my favorite movie, but it's just so out there that you gotta count it. You gotta include it in this list. It's gotta be. It's a remarkable sci-fi horror movie that you gotta see. It's at least once, just for the artistic, beautiful value of the presentation and nightmarish visuals. So that's number 8. I know I'm cheating. I'll try. I think I'm gonna do it one more. There may be one double again, one more. It's just because there's so many great movies in 1980s, and I just don't want to leave them out. But I'll try. I'll try not to do it. Maybe once more I'll do a double. From now I'll start just talking about one movie. Take it easy. Stay tuned for more from Fangs Out.